Hello friends, this is Wakeangel2K1, and I got a bit of bad news. I kinda hurt my hand, and like my whole hand and wrist deal. Whenever I try to bend it or put any force into closing my fingers, it really hurts. So I kinda can't do dexterous things like sculpt or paint or write or anything. So I've been wearing an immobilization brace, which has been helping. It hurts much less today than it hurt yesterday. So hopefully in a few days my wrist will be recovered and I'll be able to make toys again. But I figured let's keep some content going with a good old-fashioned toy review. When I went to buy the latest issue of Sonic the Hedgehog, the new wave of Dragon Ball Super figures had just come out in the Collector Cave, the comic store I go to, and I picked up Dragon Star Series Piccolo because Piccolo has always been my favorite character from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and now Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, I love Piccolo. I think he's awesome. He's a cool character. His design is great. I love Piccolo. The box features Piccolo in his cape and hatted look on the side, just underneath the Dragon Ball Super logo. The cape and hat is not included with this figure, which may as well, because like the way this design goes, it really should be an incorporated part of his sculpt if it's going to look any good. If you try to make it a removable accessory, then it's going to be a load of compromises and no one's going to like that. The back of the box shows all the other figures available in this wave, and I've got to say, some really freaking nice figures. I saw all of these on the shelf and they all looked amazing, especially Perfect Cell. I don't know why they call him Cell Final Form instead of Perfect Cell, but that guy looked freaking incredible and I was so tempted to buy him, but you know, it gets kind of expensive to buy whole waves. They also have Super Saiyan 4 Goku, which is also cool. Frieza's original form, which I'm surprised they didn't make that first, but I guess Frieza's final form is more famous. And of course, Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Android 17, like, oh god, like, these figures all looked amazing on the shelf, but I only bought one. So let's get them out of the packaging and talk about Piccolo. Alright, so here is our proud Namekian warrior taken out of the packaging. And the sculpt on this figure is just bloody fantastic, and the paint job is pretty good too. Let's get a nice zoom in so we can see his handsome Namekian face with those little antennas that come down just a little bit over his eyes. And every sculpted sinew, and I mean that literally. Now he's not just muscular, but you can actually see the ridges in his green skin and the visible pink muscle. That's it's kind of weird to look at, but it still looks awesome, and they captured the look just fine. He also has his puffy martial arts pants and his cute little elfy shoes that look all cute and elfin-like. Quick look up the back. Shows the articulation in his knees, as well as the sculpting on the back, showing that they did not cut any corners on any side of the figure. So his sculpting, you know, he looks great. That's what I'm trying to get at. He looks pretty darn fantastic. So let's talk about his articulation. Piccolo features a bald. There is a joint in the head, which is mostly just a swivel. I haven't really been able to get any kind of expressive tilt out of it. And I feel like his neck, well, he can look down a bit, but he doesn't really look up. He has that kind of thing where he's kind of looking through his eyebrows at you. You know, that intimidating look. You can tilt his head down to make it look even more intimidating. But yeah, I would have liked it if there was a little bit more at the neck so that it could tilt upwards, like for him to fly. So a little bit disappointed with the neck. Could have used a bit more range there, but you know, it's okay. Shoulders are on pin discs, and the shoulders of his gi are a separate piece from the rest of his body, so you can move his arms all around and the gi won't get in the way. See? So that's all well and good. I think I just jammed that, but there we go. Yeah, see? So you don't have to worry about this is not a figure where you have to worry about sculpt getting in the way of articulation. At least not on the arms. And, oh my god, I think I jammed something. Hold on. Sorry about that. I got this piece can move all the way around, but it's softer material and it got a little bit wedged in there. I just rotated it back into place without tearing it. So it can move, but don't move it too fast. So yeah, there's a bicep swivel directly underneath that pin disc shoulder, and that just hurt my hand right there. I'm gonna use my right hand for this. I'm left-handed, so it was my impulse to use my left hand. So yeah, bicep swivel, sweet double jointed elbow, which goes like that, and then like that to get a decent just beyond 90-degree curl. The wrist is on a hinge and a swivel, so you have plenty of room to articulate the hand around. And there's also a swapping hand gimmick, we'll get into that later. Has a bit of a ball joint in his waist, so you can arch his back a bit more, crouch just a tiny bit, and of course rotate. His hips are on a ball joint and a hinge, so you can pull them out like this. Like, you see they come down a little bit to afford him just that little bit more range, so you can get kicking. It does a thing where it does a little bit of a wide crotch if you want to go full on outward, but you know, you can rotate the foot around and kajigger it so that it doesn't look like he's kicking behind himself. You can still pull stuff off. So they without rotating, they can go out that far. With rotation, you can do a full JCVD splits. If you look inside, you can see how the ball joint is attached and how that ball joint itself is on a hinge. So you can get a little bit more dynamic poses with those hips. Knees are slightly disappointing because you see two pin discs, so you think, oh, so it's a double jointed knee, right? Well, not really. The bottom knee bends, but the top, it doesn't really do anything. It just kind of wiggles a little bit like this. Like, that's as far back as it goes, and that's as far forward as it goes. I'm not sure why. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that it sort of helps to hide the seam of the joint when you have his legs straight. But that's about it. Doesn't really do much for his articulation. I wonder why if this isn't going to serve as a second hinge for a double jointed knee, why is it there? I have no idea. Foot kind of saves it though. Like, there's nothing in the ankle, but despite the fact that you have this kind of shoe design, he still has a full-on hinge and swivel, and everything can move around in the foot, so you can keep a flat-footed stance even in dynamic poses, and that's pretty cool because he's a Dragon Ball Z figure, a Dragon Ball Super figure, and if it's one thing you want from Dragon Ball, it's dynamic posing, which is fantastic. Okay, so alternate hands. He originally comes with fists, which are good for punching. Of course, there's a lot of punching in the series, but you can easily pop those right off. You see, it's a simple ball. It's carved in such a way that it holds firmly without being too hard. And once popped off, you can swap it in for these expression hands. Let's do with one expression hand. You can do that intimidating cupping your own fist look. Like, oh yeah, you gonna get messed up. Or maybe he's winding up a baseball pitch if you want to pretend that. Or you can pop off the other hand, give him two gesturing hands so that he can be doing martial artsy stuff, which if you don't overextend the joint to where you pop the hands out. So yes, he can be doing martial artsy stuff, or he can be doing energy blasts, ki blasts like the Masenko. I think that's how the Masenko works. Masenko ha, or like maybe he's doing solar flare. Wait, I forget this. Piccolo's used the solar flare technique, right? I mean, everybody uses the solar flare, and it's Tien's move, but I'm pretty sure everybody's used it, including Piccolo. So, yeah, the solar flare is a thing you can do. I did not push that hand down all the way. There we go. Now the hands are all the way on. So, if you thought, oh man, why do his hands look like they're floating so far off the wrists? That was a problem. I didn't push him on all the way. But yeah, now he has gesturing hands for like come at me or energy blasts or like, man, this figure looks so freaking cool and dynamic. It's almost like And of course, there is one iconic thing. Piccolo comes with a special right hand with 2 fingers sticking up. And I think we all know what this is. It's, of course, the hand for his signature technique, the Masenko Kosapo. Yes, so you can put the fingers up to his forehead so you can charge up the energy. That's like, or you can hide it from Frost while he's fighting him in the arena so that he can't see his facial expression and read his movements that way. You can have it pointing, so he's actually firing the special beam cannon, which is what the dub calls it, and I should have just been calling that from the first place instead of embarrassing myself trying to say makaka paka paka paka. But yes, like, this Piccolo is all set for doing your iconic poses, and he looks awesome, and he is a great representation of the figure. And if you like Dragon Ball, then and Piccolo is your favorite character like he is for me, then you can totally grab this guy even if you don't have any other Dragon Ball figures, because no, I do not have any other Dragon Ball figures, but I don't care because Piccolo's design is awesome enough that I can just get this and keep him alone on the shelf, and I'm perfectly satisfied with that because look at how cool he is! Alright, so this has been Wakeangel2K1 doing a review of the Piccolo figure. And I hope that this has been enlightening to you. If you never got anything from the Dragon Ball Super line and you might want to start your collection, this is a pretty good way to do it because it has my boy in it. Yeah, I really do love Piccolo. So we'll see you next time with another video that will be tangentially related to customs, hopefully. And hopefully I will actually get back to being able to make toys again as soon as my wrist gets fixed.